Today's video, I'll be talking about how to say no. Now, I know many of you will be thinking, what sort of a silly topic is that? You know, how hard is it to say no? The reality is many people struggle to say no. Today in this video, we're going to be talking about where this comes from, where it stems from, why people struggle to say no assertively, the effects of it, of the effects of not being able to say no, unhelpful beliefs around the reasons why people don't say no, and how to replace those unhelpful beliefs with better beliefs and the benefits of that. So let's talk about saying no. Now, as children, or as toddlers, as babies, we're all born assertive. Have you ever seen a toddler struggle to say no to something? I bet you haven't, right? Those who have spent time around children, you will see that a child has no issues saying no. However, over time, as this child grows up, as we grow up, we learn certain beliefs based on, our environment, our family, our parents, our childhood, our experiences. If a person was brought up in a family where they got in trouble for saying no, for example, if they got in trouble for saying no, then as they get older, they will have this issue of not knowing how to say no. So the effects of not saying no can cause resentment in the person against the other person who's requesting, even though the other person didn't do anything wrong. You might start to sort of muffle under your breath, words of contempt and hatred and resentment towards people. You start to hate people. Why does everybody use me? Nobody appreciates me, and so on and so forth. And usually people who struggle to say no have a lot on their plate because they don't know how to say no. So they're saying yes to dawah initiatives, and they're saying yes to mashaykh, inviting them to lessons. They're saying yes to volunteering. They're saying yes to university and to this degree and that degree and this class and that class, until they burn themselves out and they fall into a depression. They have anxiety. They might have low self-esteem issues and many, many other mental health issues that can come about. So you will feel disappointed. You will feel disappointed, in other people if you don't learn how to say no assertively. So why is it hard to say no? Now, as I said, we're all born assertive. We have no problems asserting ourselves as children, but we're brought up in these households. Many families, I know, being a Lebanese background, Middle Eastern, many people around the world as well struggle with this. It's not restricted to people from one part of the world, but some are more than others, where the child can't say no. The child can't express feelings. The child can't express needs. The child can't even show anything, an opinion. Okay, very sort of like a oppressive type of parenting skills. More like a tyrant type of parenting styles. Authoritarian. So the child grows up not knowing how to say no, or scared to say no because of the consequences that will come. They might get smacked, hit, punished for saying no. So then unhelpful beliefs develop in this person. When they grow up, they believe that saying no is bad, saying no is wrong, saying no is hurtful. So I'm going to go through some unhelpful beliefs as to why some people say no. First belief is saying no is rude and aggressive. Saying no is rude and aggressive. The other belief is saying no is selfish and it's not kind. So you got to be kind to everyone all the time. And if I say no, then I'm not being kind. And this is an unhelpful belief. This is not true. The next one is saying no will hurt and upset others and make them feel rejected. And this is an unhelpful belief because we don't know how other people will feel if we say no. And we have the right to say no just like everyone else has the right to ask. These are rights that everybody has. So we have the right to say no, they have the right to ask. And when you're saying no, you're not saying no to the entire person. So if one person comes up to you as your friend or someone you respect, they come up to you and they ask you for something, they ask you for a request. If you say no, you're saying no to that specific request. You're not rejecting the entire friendship or the entire relationship. So that's a good point to remember. The next unhelpful belief is, if I say no, people won't like me anymore. People won't like me anymore. This can come, or what can be underneath all of this, the underlying issue could be some codependent issues. So codependency, people pleasing, being scared to upset people, being scared to, people think badly of you, where you're extremely dependent on the validation of others, and that gives you your so-called purpose in life, where you feel that you're serving people, you're offering value to people, but you're overextending, and you're scared to say no. You're scared to say no. You're scared to have your own opinion, because they might upset you, and if they might be upset with you, and if they are upset with you, that's where you become upset and you feel that you've done something wrong. The next unhelpful belief is others' needs are more important than my needs. Others' needs are more important than my needs, and this is not true. Your needs are just as important as everyone else's, if not more important. Okay, you need to make sure you take care of yourself, save yourself, protect yourself, before you go out and serving others. Then the other unhelpful belief is, I should always try and please other people and be helpful and be useful. My existence or my purpose, is dependent on how much I can please other people. Okay, and the issue with this is, you usually, if you have this belief, is that it's never ending. You feel that you need to keep on accomplishing, keep on pleasing people, just in order to be worthy of love and acceptance. So it's a never-ending cycle. So can you think of any other unhelpful beliefs around saying no? If you can, put them in the comments so we can all benefit. Moving on, we want to talk now about more helpful beliefs. Okay, changing the way you think regarding saying no. Some things I've already said, so I'll start off with the first point. I want to reiterate that other people have the right to say other people have the right to ask, just as I have the right to say no. That's a very powerful new way of thinking. Okay, the next one is, when you say no, you are refusing the specific request, not the entire person or the entire relationship. The next new belief or more helpful belief is, when we say yes to one thing, we're actually saying no to another thing. So what does this mean? For example, if your friend asks you to give them a lift, to someone's house or to work, and then you say yes, and at this, let's say it's 5 p.m, your friend says, can you take me to work? You say yes. However, at that time, you could have been somewhere else. You could have been at home, you could have been at work, you could have been doing something else. So whenever you're saying yes to something, you're actually saying no to something else. And this is where priorities comes in. This is where you need to learn how to balance when to say yes and when to say no, and prioritize those things that are important in your life and those people that are important in your life, based on this new belief. The next one is, people who have difficulty saying no usually overestimate the difficulty that the other person will be having accepting this refusal. Okay, we believe that they won't be able to cope with me saying no. So, by being honest and by being open, then we sort of liberate the other person, and we teach the other person that, you can say no, and you can say no to me when I ask you, and I can say no to you. This is how a healthy relationship develops. So you're modeling that now with your within your circle, that you can respectfully turn down and say no to certain things, and I can still be your friend. So and they can still ask further requests. So can you think of any other helpful beliefs around saying no? If you can, put them in the comments so we can all benefit. So now, changing your behavior. So before we start here, I want you to I want to drive home this point that our experiences in life, our experiences, whether in the past, like as children or any time in the past, those experiences will impact or influence the way we think. Okay, so let's just say in childhood, we weren't allowed to say no, we weren't allowed to express feelings. Then we develop a way of thinking, a belief that saying no is bad. Okay, saying no is wrong. I must say yes in order to feel accepted, so on and so forth. These are beliefs. Okay, these beliefs are just opinions. They're your opinions that you've come up with. They're not facts. Okay, so this is something that you need to understand whenever you have unhelpful ways of thinking, that they are just opinions. They're your opinions and they're not facts. Therefore, they can be challenged. So our past experiences influence our thinking, and our thinking influences or impacts our emotions, our feelings, the way we feel. So for example, someone who has these thoughts that I can't say no, if I say no, it means I'm dumb. The way they feel is going to be sad, resentment, depression, low self-esteem, and so on and so forth. So thinking impacts the way you feel, and the way you feel does impact or influence your behavior. So you might start to show behaviors that are coinciding with that depression. Okay, whether it's procrastination, not studying, not meeting deadlines, not getting out of bed, not being motivated, so on and so forth. So how to say no. Okay, I'm going to mention 8 points how to say no assertively, respectfully, and without hurting people's feelings or your own. So point number 1, how to say no, is be straightforward and honest. Okay, straightforward and honesty, but not rude. So in between passive and aggressive, be assertive. So straightforward, to the point, honest, but not rude. Number 2, as a rule, keep your no brief. Okay, keep it brief. Don't over-explain why you're saying no. Number 3, in healthy relationships, you'll tell the person if you're having difficulty saying no to their request. Like, I'd really love to help you, however, I can't because I got an assignment to submit tonight. So being honest, expressing how you feel towards the situation is a good thing to, amongst healthy relationships. It's a very good thing to model with each other, so that way you can teach others to also say no to you in this manner. Number 4, be polite. So say something like, thank you for asking me, thank you for considering me to fulfill that need that you have. So after you say no, you be polite and tell them thank you for asking, and be sure to ask again. Number 5 is speak slowly, with warmth, and don't be abrupt. Try to speak slow. So when they ask for something, let them finish, be patient, be calm, and kindly respond with your no, without speaking too fast. Okay, like, how rude would it sound if someone says, hey bro, can you take me to the library? And you'd be like, no. Can you please take me? And you're like, no. You just respond so fast, so quick. It comes across as very abrupt. Number 6, don't apologize or give elaborate reasons for saying no. So it's your right to say no, just as it's their right to ask, but it's your right to say no if you don't want to do things. So apologizing indicates that you did something wrong, you contributed to some form of conflict, or you did a mistake, and you're apologizing for that. So you've done something wrong. So in other words, you're saying no is wrong, and I apologize for that. You see the very subtle messages in our speech, how we speak with each other. We don't even know it. It's like subconscious, unconscious. It's very hidden. So you don't need to apologize. You don't need to say, I am sorry, I can't. Okay. And don't there's many people that apologize a lot. I'm so sorry, I would have loved to do that for you, but I can't because my mum's coming here, my dad's there, and my children, and I got this exam, and I would have loved to do it, but I'm so sorry. I really want to please you. Please accept me. That's how you come across, and this goes back to people pleasing, right? You're scared of how other people view you as well. The opinion of others really, affects you and makes you scared. This the thought of other people being, thinking bad about me makes you tremble. So therefore, you apologize and apologize and apologize and apologize just to make sure in your mind that they are not thinking anything bad about you. So you don't need to ever explain yourself and apologize. Okay, you don't need to apologize. Number 7 is remember that it is better in the long run to be truthful than to breed resentment and bitterness within yourself towards people. How many times do we see people saying, I'm not going to help anyone anymore, I'm not going to do nothing for no one, everyone can go and get stuffed, and they put up memes on their WhatsApp stories and their Facebook, from now on, all those toxic positivity messages, from now on, it's only me and me. I don't know, I can't remember these memes, but they're very toxic, and it usually comes from this belief, or from this issue of not being able to say no, people pleasing, and so on and so forth. So it's better to be truthful by saying no than to say yes when you don't want to say yes and build up resentment towards other people when other people didn't even do anything wrong towards you, and then you build this negativity towards human beings. F the world, and all this type of quotes that are not helpful. Okay. Number 8, when saying no, take responsibility for it. Don't make excuses. Don't blame. You don't have to blame people why you're saying no. Okay. Just take responsibility for it. I don't want to do this task. Okay. As opposed to, I really wanted to do it, but Steve down the road prevented me from doing it, right? So they're the 8 ways on how to change your behavior and how to say no. The next section now I'll be talking about, and I'll wrap the video up with this, different ways of saying no, different ways of saying no. So the first way is the direct no. Okay, when someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, you just say no. Okay, the aim is to say no without apologizing, and the other person has the problem, has the task to be done, but you don't have to allow him or her to pass that problem onto you. Okay, this technique can be quite forceful. So with these ways of saying no, they could be more appropriate in different situations and different circumstances. So these aren't all good in all circumstances. So this first circumstance, it's actually good when someone's forceful. Someone really just keeps on repeating. They try to sort of trick you into saying yes. Things like that. So just a direct no with no explanation is good enough for these people, especially salespeople as well. Have you ever went and bought a car and for $500 we'll we'll wash your car with this special liquid where, you know, things will just run straight off it. And for another $1,000, we'll put your Bluetooth in there, and, you know, for another $500, we'll give you a steering wheel. All right, a bit of a joke. So best way is just to say no, okay? Number 2, ways of saying no. The reflecting no. So the first one was the direct no. The second one is the reflecting no. This technique involves acknowledging the content and the feeling of the request, okay? Then adding your assertive refusal at the end. So for example, I know you want to talk to me, you know, about something, but I can't do that right now. Or I know you're looking forward to talk to me, but I can't come. So you're acknowledging the importance of the other person. So I know you want to talk to me. I know you need this from me, but I can't. Okay, that's the reflecting no. So you're reflecting back their feelings. Okay. Number 3 is the reasoned no. So in this technique, you give a very brief and genuine reason, for why you're saying no, and depending on the situation, who you explain yourself to. Okay. So for example, you say, I can't have lunch with you because I have an essay that needs to be submitted. So there's a reason here. Okay. Number 4 is the rain check no. So you're saying no, but it's not definite. Okay. It's a way of saying no to the request at present. However, it leaves room for saying yes in the future. So only use this technique, or this rain check no, if you genuinely want to meet the request in the future. So for example, I can't have lunch with you today, but I could make it Thursday night. On Thursday. You know, I can't now. How does Tuesday sound? So it's a rain check, okay? Number 5 is the inquiring no. The inquiring no, as with the rain check no, it's not definite, okay? It is a way of opening up the request to see if there is another way that it could be met. So for example, is there any other time you would like to go? So you would say no, but is there any other time you would like to do this? Is there any other time we can do this? So you're inquiring, okay? Number 6 is the broken record no. And this can be used in a wide range of situations. Just repeat the simple statement and refusal over and over and over again, with no explanation, no reasoning, no rain check, no nothing. Okay, you just repeat it. This is good for persistent requests as well. So just an example, you got Bob and you got Harry, right? So Bob says to Harry, let's go have lunch. Harry says, no, I can't have lunch with you. And Bob repeats, you know, oh please, you know, let's just go, it'll be fun. And then he responds, no, I can't have lunch with you. Come on, please, you know, it'll be fun. It'll be my shout. No, I can't have lunch with you. So it's a broken record, right? I'll pay, you know, no, I don't want to have lunch with you. I'll pick you up. No, I don't have lunch with you. You just keep on repeating the same one. People get the point that, okay, this is something that I want to do. Just as they're persistent, you've got to be persistent. This is useful in with certain people, not everyone, with certain people who are, as we say in Lebanese, smack. they're very thick. That's a literal translation. I don't know how to say in English. Like, they're very persistent, very they don't care about your feelings or anything. They just want to, you know, push you to do whatever they want you to do. So if you found this video to be helpful, you know, comment, share it, and give me any topics that you would like me to talk about as well in the future. If you disagree with me as well, that's fine. You can disagree with me in the comment section, and we can hold a respectful dialogue. Or if you want me to clarify anything, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.